Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Joshua. Joshua is from Massachusetts in the USA. So let's see what Joshua has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hi.
Hello Joshua, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time to do the interview with me.
Yeah, of course.
Amazing. Right, before we start the game, just tell me where are you from?
I am from Malden, Massachusetts, which is right outside of Boston.
Right. And what's the best parts of living over there?
Best part of living over here, my friends all live here, and I'm pretty close to Boston, which has all the great parts of living in a big city, but Malden's a pretty nice, small community with a lot of great restaurants.
Mm-hmm. I've been in Boston 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I've been in Boston. I was my best friend. He lives in Montreal, in Canada, and
nice.
yes, a friend of mine. He was in New York, and we drove from Montreal to Boston, and from Boston to Cape Cod.
Great locations. I've been to Montreal and Cape Cod, but not in several years. But they're both amazing places.
Yeah, right, Joshua. And what do you do for a living?
I work for the state of Massachusetts as an outreach coordinator where I teach people about invasive insects.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's the most interesting thing about your job?
Probably the most interesting thing is learning about sort of the new insects that people need to know about, and then getting to teach people and sort of seeing what they know about these things and kind of helping them learn.
I see. And I was checking your profile, and you also you are an artist, an illustrator.
Yes, I am.
Tell me a little bit about it.
It's something I've always been interested in. I've, started off as like a little kid, just like drawing and doodling, markers on paper, crayons or whatever, and just kind of continued that throughout my entire life. Took classes in school, took classes after school on the weekends, continued it through college, and then it's just always been a hobby of mine.
Right, very good, very good. Okay, Joshua, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. I've got here my lovely box full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to get a bit in the mood for the first question. Ready?
Right, yeah.
Just to let you know as well, if there is a question that you don't have an answer for, you don't want to answer, I always can change to another one, okay? It's all very chilled and friendly, okay?
Okay.
Great. Let's do it. Okay, Joshua, ready for the first question?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it. So the first question is, which season you feel more connected with and why?
The season I feel most connected with, so I'm gonna say winter, which is probably not what most people would say, but that's because I kind of grew up being taught how to ski, so I kind of always really liked winter sports. Not every part of winter is great, but I like the snow. I like kind of the feel of winter. It's just kind of a nice, relaxing time of year, I think.
And is your birthday around the same time as well, in winter time?
Yeah, it is. It's in February, so it's there's that to look forward to as well.
I heard once somebody told me that you feel very connected with this season when you were born, and for me it works really well as well because my favorite season is the fall and the autumn, and I love it. I just always loved it. My birthday as well at the same time. So for me, it works well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Next question. Let's do it. I start seeing some moods now. Good. You're getting there. You're relaxing. Next question for you is, what is your all-time favorite band and why?
My all-time favorite band, this is a tricky question for me because there's not a whole lot of like bands or artists that I'm super into. Like my taste is sort of, I don't know. I don't follow up with like new music super well, but at the moment it's probably the Shins, which is kind of like this got a very eclectic sound. All their songs are very different. it's just kind of like interesting to listen to them because you never quite know what you're going to get, and a lot of their songs are kind of like stories, so you just kind of like follow what they're doing, and there's not a lot of repetition there, so it's fun to listen to them.
And do you have a favorite song?
I'm not sure if I could pick one. No, they're all so different.
Okay, very good. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, Joshua, tell me what's the most challenging part of your job, in your opinion?
The most challenging part of my job? Probably having to deal with like just bureaucracy, because there's always a lot of people involved and everyone wants different things. So it's, trying to follow all the rules and make sure everyone is happy, because they all have different wants and they're all following different set of rules as well. So just got to navigate what people want.
I see. Okay. Next question is, what are you most passionate about?
Ooh, okay. That's I could say a lot of things. Most passionate about, I think I would say, this is gonna be very broad, but art in kind of all of its senses, like not just creating art, but understanding it, kind of discussing with people, seeing what artists intend to do, what an artist's message is, and you can say a lot of different things with art in a lot of different ways, so it's kind of really fun to like look at something, whether it's a sculpture, a painting, an illustration, a movie, a song, and sort of see like, well, what is the artist trying to do here? What am I supposed to feel? Why do I feel that way? So that's always kind of, it's a big thing for me, and it's really fun to kind of understand that.
Very good. I like that. I love it. Next question. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Right. Before the next one, I believe you have a graphic novel called The Golden Seeds.
Yes, I do.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, so it's a graphic novel I started when I took a class specifically about narrative illustration, which is simply telling a story with pictures. And then I finished it after the class, and it's kind of like, it's supposed to be a very simple story, kind of like a fairy tale about a brother and sister who go on an adventure to find these magical golden seeds to save their town from a famine. So it's about them going on their adventure, learning to work together, because they're very different, so they don't get along very well, and kind of like exploring the world together. So it's meant to be very simple, kind of like really evoke the feeling of being in New England in the fall, because that's kind of what the setting's based on, and it's what I wanted to do for my first graphic novel.
And what was the biggest inspiration for it?
Biggest inspiration for me, I'd say it was just New England in the fall. Like I said, like thinking about like Vermont and Massachusetts and kind of the way the scenery looks in like, September and October when the leaves are changing, just those colors, the feel of that. And then stories like, The Hobbit, of just like these very simple stories of people going on an adventure and learning about themselves. That can be for people of all ages.
I see. Very good. Next question for you is, what's your parents did or do that comforts you the most?
Let's see, what did they do that comforts me the most? So there's two things that came to my mind right away. One is every time I visit them, they kind of immediately just open a bottle of wine and like we'll share it and just have like a nice time together, sharing that moment. And two is, even though they're very different from me in a lot of ways, like they're both mathematicians, so they have this very analytical mind that like really understands math. I was, the artist in the family, and even though they don't really understand necessarily how I see the world or think about things, they always respect it and appreciate it, and always kind of have always supported me in whatever I wanted to do, or just how I see things differently from them.
Very good, very good. Next question. Let's do it. Right, next question for you is, what do you like the most about yourself?
Ooh, good question. What do I like most about myself? I think it's probably my creativity, which isn't, just limited to like visual creativity, but just, I don't know, the way I approach problem solving, the way I think about things, or like will approach concepts. Just I like to think that I can like think outside the box and think of like, you know, different ways of dealing with things. So I think that's what's probably the best part about myself. It's certainly helpful, and it's been valuable before, so I appreciate having that.
Very good, very good. Next one. Okay, Joshua. Next, am I saying your name right, Joshua?
Yes, you are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is something you wish you could do every day?
Something I wish I could do. Okay. That probably swimming, which is something I really enjoy doing. You know, it's like I'd love to have a place that's big enough to have like a pool in the backyard, because then I would just do that every day. I find it really relaxing. It's a lot of fun to do. As it is, I, you know, can't go swimming every day because I do not have a pool of my own.
Right, good one. Next question. For the next question, you know, the world has been, you know what I mean, facing this epidemic time right now since last year, 2020. In your personal point of view, what's the most positive thing you took out of it, and what's the most negativity, or the thing that you suffered the most during this time?
That's a very big question, and I've definitely, you know, had a lot of time to think about it since March of 2020. So probably the most positive thing to come out of the pandemic, I'd say, was a lot of people realizing just the way we've been running the world. There's a lot of things that don't work, and we no longer have to accept as just the way things are, whether that's how we work, how systems of like government or healthcare are set up, certain facts about science, or like who we should listen to, who the experts are, the ways in which we can all help each other as a community. I think a lot of people learned those things very, very quickly, kind of realized what was most important to them. And hopefully that's something people will keep carrying forward into the future, and sort of like trying to make a better world for themselves and others. And the worst thing to come out of the pandemic, besides the sickness and so many people dying, is I'd say it's the willful ignorance of people who kind of refuse to accept the basic facts in front of them, whether that's what the experts say, what scientists are saying, people who choose sort of themselves or kind of a comforting lie over the truth, and kind of doing the things they need to do to protect themselves or each other.
Mm-hmm. I see.
It's been very hard.
Yeah, talking about that, I just had my second job 2 days ago.
Oh, wow, congrats.
Thank you. And today I went to the gym this morning. Yesterday I didn't go, but today I went to the gym just to kind of, you know, to put I didn't feel anything actually, but just my arm was a bit sore, you know, when you feel heavy, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, but yes, I'm fully vaccinated now.
That's great to hear.
Okay, next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
It's something I've been trying to think about recently. In 5 years, I'd say it's, I'd like to have kind of a job that gives me more satisfaction, more meaning, something that I feel like I can really contribute to the world. I think I'd like to be more like financially secure and stable, and I'd like to still be in a place where I can like connect with my friends and community in a way that really matters.
Okay, good. Ready for the next one?
Yes.
Let's do it. I'll tell you something, you are so easy answering questions. It's just like, pa, 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 pa. Very good. Next question is, what's the best and the worst of being yourself?
Ooh, all right, that's a tricky one. Okay. So I guess the best thing about being myself is I feel like I'm a very kind of like joyful person, kind of like very exuberant, like, you know, I take a lot of excitement or pleasure out of some very simple things, whether it's just a really good meal or like something like very silly, like just like a tiny little moment, being out in nature. Like I can kind of take pleasure in a lot of those simple things, which is great because like it means I'm easily entertained and easily amused.
Yeah.
The worst thing is probably dealing with various mental health issues like anxiety, kind of like fighting all of the uncertainty I have, all the things that are going on in my head and that I have to constantly remind myself, that's not necessarily true. That's not based in reality, and just trying to be my own, biggest champion and like help myself out as much as I can. That can be hard to do.
Absolutely, totally agree with you. I think I'm an overthinker, and sometimes I find myself, when you start to overthink, you analyze things. Sometimes you find yourself in a very dark place. Sometimes, sometimes I try not to, when I find myself in these moments or in this like overthink, analyze thing, I just try to kind of focus on something else, because as you said, you just get yourself down and down and down. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's good for us just to chill out, you know what I mean? And as you said, just the most you overthink about things, the most down you feel, you know what I mean? The most you kind of analyze, just take your energy away, just take out of your energy. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, it can be hard.
It can, yeah. But I believe that's just the fact that we know it and we accept it. I think it's already halfway of the journey, you know what I mean? Like, just the fact we know it, we know the issue, the problem is there. At least is a good side, I believe.
Yeah.
Next question.
Okay.
Let's do it. I was saying about that. I went to Boston a few years ago, and I visited as well the gayest city I ever been in my life. It was Provincetown.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Famously so.
Oh wow! I was like, this friend of mine, I never heard of it actually, and my friend as well, he never heard before, and he was talking to another friend in London saying that he was going to Cape Cod and to Boston. I was like, oh, you should go to Provincetown just to see the city. And I remember we spent like 2 or 3 days there. I don't remember, but it was really, really nice. It was kind of relaxing, but very gay. I'd never seen like it was the gayest place I've ever been.
It's really nice.
Next question is, what made you laugh last time?
The last thing that made me laugh, it was probably something really, really dumb. I can't remember what it was specifically. I think it was probably like a joke or a meme that was on an online group. So actually, I think I remember what it was. It was an online group I'm part of that specifically like jokes about nature and science. And it was just some like silly joke someone had made, like making fun about how like a nature documentarian will spend years of their life like trying to get this amazing footage of an animal that like you can be really impressed by, just for me to kind of watch on my couch and go, wow, that's amazing, as I spill snacks all over myself. I was like, that's the kind of humor I like, just something like dumb observational humor that's maybe a little bit dry or ridiculous, but it made me laugh.
Very good, very good. Next question. Okay, Joshua, just before the next question, as you are a graphical illustrator, do you do that every single day, or you need to find like a reason or a peaceful place to do it? Do you need to be inspired to do it, or is something natural you can do like every day?
Well, I wish I could do it every day, but sometimes, as with a lot of things you do, like you just feel burnt out from it and you just kind of don't have the energy for it. And it's like anything, it's like a resource. It's, it's like a muscle. It's like, you do have to use it to like work it out and remember how to do it. But it's like, if you can overexert yourself in the same way. I do try and do it often, even if it's something very simple, something very small that, but it's just like something kind of like keep the muscles loose, kind of like keep myself in the practice, something that'll like bring me joy. But if inspiration strikes, like, yes, I definitely try and like capture that and like run with it. Because sometimes like you'll be inspired by something and, maybe you'll let a week go by because you're busy or you're tired, and then you'll be like, well, I forgot what it was and I don't feel like doing anymore. But I do try and make it as much of a habit as I can.
I see. Okay. Next question for you is, what does success mean to you?
Ooh. Hey, what does success mean to me? feel like I'm not going to have a super deep answer for this, unfortunately. I mean, it's knowing what you want, what your goals are, being able to set them, reaching them, and being able to kind of keep growing and striving. It's not necessarily like, like reaching an endpoint and then saying, that's it, I'm done. It can be for some things, but I think it's kind of knowing where you have room to grow and trying to keep doing that.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I think success is a personal thing. Maybe success, what means success to me, maybe not doesn't mean to you. You know what I mean? It's a personal thing. I just when people think about success, they think about reaching goals and anything, but it's not about that. It's just about you being good with yourself. You being satisfied with yourself. For me, that's what the meaning of success, for sure. Next question. Let's do it. Next question is, how long can you go without checking your phone?
Oh God. It's probably only a few minutes, honestly. Like there's definitely times where I'm aware that I'm like looking at it too much, and that's when I try and do something like, I'll put it on silent, like put it in my pocket, put it like somewhere else in the room. And I like to think I have good self-control over it, but like I know I don't. And then if there's ever a time when I can't check my phone for several hours, like I'm in the car and I've been driving for 3 hours, I'll look at my phone and see I have all these notifications. Just like, well, that's because I haven't checked in a while. Like normally I don't have that many. So it's like, yeah, it's only a few minutes, honestly.
I see. Let's pretend that if somebody come up to you, say, okay, Joshua, you need to delete forever from your phone. Social media or YouTube? Which one would you choose?
Probably YouTube, because it's a great tool to have. But it's like I know so many people on social media. It's kind of how I stay connected to a lot of people. It's like I need to have that. It's like YouTube, it's nice, but I can find other ways to entertain myself.
Right, good one. Okay, I have 3 questions left for you, okay?
All right.
Let's do it. Question for you. Right, good one. If you could meet yourself when you were 15 years old again, which advice would you give to yourself?
Ooh, can I only give one piece of advice to myself?
Yeah, let's pretend you're gonna sit down with yourself. Okay, I just can give just this shot, just one advice. Which one would be?
That's a really good question. Let's see. Probably I would say to myself, whatever like feelings and thoughts you're having about like your sexuality, it's not a phase, they're legitimate, and you'll act on them when you're ready.
Very good. Oh, I'd love to hear that when I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
For sure, it would be a very good advice, that's for sure. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Next question for you is, tough question. How do you think you'll die, or how would you like to die if you could choose?
Ooh, wow, that is tough. I mean, how I think I'll die versus how I want to die are 2 very different questions. I'd like to die, like of old age in my sleep, so it's pretty like, painless and not dramatic. Probably surrounded by my loved ones. How I think I'll die, I hope that's how it goes. Like I don't want, something like, like to die of like sickness or disease or like in some sort of horrible accident. Just go quietly. I think that's probably the best thing.
Just go to sleep and that's it. No pain, nothing. Just go to sleep and done. Done to this word. Ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do the last question. Right. What was your best friend's name growing up, and why did you consider this person as your best friend at the time?
So I think my best friend when I was growing up, his name was Daniel, and I'm trying to remember because this is when I was like 4 years old. Was when I first met him. He lived close to me, so like proximity was part of it because we went to school together. But I think we shared a lot of the same interests. So it's you know, it's one of those things like when you're young, it's like, I think it's like easy to make friends because it's like if you share an interest, if you have like one thing in common, you just kind of like immediately click. So we enjoy doing a lot of the same things. I think he was kind of more quiet and like nerdy, kind of like I was. So we just got together about that. So that for, I guess, most of my like elementary and middle school career remained true.
Are you still in touch?
No, I haven't been in touch with him in a while. I'm not sure what he's up to now, but you know, from like age 4 onward, up through, you know, middle school, like we were very close.
Very good, very good. Okay, Joshua, not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game. So I'm going to give away some words. Just have one word that comes to your mind, okay? Quick thinking.
Okay. All right.
Let's start with politics.
Difficult.
Love.
Romance.
Oh, money.
Greed.
Family.
Love.
Sex.
Nice.
Life.
Death.
Religion.
Difficult.
Fear.
Overcoming.
Friendship.
Love.
Regrets.
Many.
Desire.
Pursue.
Success.
Strive.
Happiness.
Eternal.
Wish.
Do.
And the last one, no, actually, let's put, if I tell you the name of your, the golden seeds, one word.
Success.
Good, very good. How about illustrator, one word.
Joy.
And the last one now, USA.
Complicated.
Right, let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friends for a cup of tea, and I'm going to ask your best friend, what's the most beautiful thing about Joshua, and what's something that he still needs to improve on? What do you think your best friend will tell me?
Being honest about myself, let's see. Okay, so they'd probably say the best thing about me is my passion, just the things that I get very excited about and like can talk about, get engaged with, kind of like share with people. And something that I need to work on is probably being more like confident and assertive, which is, you know, something I've been trying to work on for a long time, just being more sure of myself and forward. And I mean, that's something a lot of people close to me know.
Very good. Okay, cool. Work in progress.
Yeah, exactly. Always is.
Always, always. Let's play now Joshua and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But okay, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, so this one's kind of a two-parter. It's what is your favorite thing to eat, and what's your favorite thing to cook, and why are they different if you're giving different answers?
Good question. Okay, what's my favorite thing to eat? By the way, I love eating. A friend of mine, he said to me, William, never say I love eating because it sounds bad. Just say I love my food. He said it sounds better. Okay. The first thing that came to my mind is I love sweets. I think it's my guilty pleasure sweets. I love cakes.
Mm-hmm.
Red velvet cake is my favorite one. Oh my God, I can eat like, you know, if you give me like a full cake, I'm gonna hold myself not to eat everything in one go because it's my guilty pleasure. And something that I like to cook. Fun enough, one of the things that I learned during this epidemic time is how to cook, because I never been good in the kitchen. Before the epidemic, I never kind of put myself in the kitchen cooking. But since then, I'm very grateful because now I learned and I enjoy it now. You know, very basic, by the way, very basic, very modest. But I think what I like to cook the most, I would say, I don't know if you know, but one of the Brazilian traditional food is black beans with rice. You know, it's very simple. And since I started cooking, I just like it because it's simple and it brings to my, you know what I mean, childhood memories, like when I was back in Brazil. I know it's a very simple answer, but it's a genuine one. So yeah, what I like to eat the most, I would say red velvet cake. And what I like to cook the most is my very traditional Brazilian food, beans and rice. That's for sure.
Those are good answers. And like, you know, simple isn't necessarily bad. It's hard to make simple things taste good, and nostalgia is very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I'm eating, I just remember this taste of my childhood. You know what I mean? Just bringing these memories, like that, just bring this good joy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Good question. I like it. I love it. Joshua, did you have a good time?
I did. Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time and to do the interview with me. Thank you very much. And before you go, if you don't mind to share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to use a quote from one of my favorite childhood authors, Roald Dahl, who wrote books like, you know, James and the Giant Peach, pretty famous book. But the quote is, "Those who don't believe in magic will never find it." So, you know, find the wonder in the world and it'll be there.
That's why I love the magic box. I totally agree. I think, you know what I mean? I think when you believe in magic, when you believe, you know, I think everything's possible. You know, anything's possible if you believe it. You know, if you put your mind there, I think everything's possible. I totally agree with you. I think it's a very good message. Thank you very much, Joshua. It was a pleasure. Thank you very, very much.
It was great. Thank you very much, William.
Keep in touch. Okay? All the best.
Well, all right.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.